Alright guys, in this lesson we'll be talking about the core elements. We've talked about some basic HTML elements, but in this particular course we'll be talking about some core elements. Here we are made to understand that we have four main elements. And these four main elements, they form the structure of the entirety of your HTML document. That is the HTML, the head, the title, and the body. But then there's one element I would like to talk about before we go straight to the HTML element. That is the first core element. This is the doc type element. Yes, while it is true there are four major main elements that makes up the skeleton of your HTML document, there is this particular element that is the document type element, which tells the browser what rules to follow when showing the document to the user. I talked about the HTML standard. Then I talked about the versions of HTML we are currently running in. Now let me show something. Oh, sorry, I don't have internet right now. I would have shown us something about how to start our HTML 1, 2, 3, 4 were started in those days. So this doc type element actually renders your page in HTML5 format. That is just what it does. So it tells the browser, this is how I want this document to be displayed to the user. This particular page this user is opening is an HTML5 document. So before the HTML document, which houses the entire HTML document, you must have your doc type element. If you look at the right side of this slide, of this particular page on this slide, you will see that was the first thing I have here. You see that was the first thing I have here. That is the doc type element. Of course, there is a space between the doc type and the element. Then what are those four core type of the element? The first one, the HTML element. The HTML element is the containing element for the whole HTML document. After the doc type declaration, which we just talked about, each HTML document should have an opening HTML tag, and each document should end with a closing HTML tag. Now, from our last example, what I just have is I remove the content in the body elements. You can do the same, and if you like, you can have a new document. You can create a new document if you like. There's no crime in that. But for me, all I just did was to remove, and you can have them all together. It's all fine, just anyhow but I love it like this. So if you look at this particular, now let me collapse my body. Okay, let me uncollapse the HTML element as well. Can you see? Let's assume I only have my HTML element. The only thing you have here is the opening tag and HTML opening tag and the closing tag of the HTML element. And this is what we are talking about here. The HTML element can also carry the following attributes which you learned about previously. Yeah, we've talked about some of these attributes, but never mind, we're still going to talk about them during the course of this program. What are some of the elements or attributes rather an HTML element can carry? We have the ID attribute, we have the dir attribute, and we have the lang attribute. Of course, I told us the major usage I've seen, or the one you will be needing mostly, is the language attribute, which is better written as lang. And this just tell your browser, okay, this particular document is rendered in English. I can have it to be US English, I can have it to be UK English, I can have it to be Australian English. You understand? So mostly it has to be US English. Mostly. So I can have it as US English. Then we move straight up to the head. Now let me collapse this. Now I have my head here, right? The head element is just a container for all other header elements. Just look at it like this when you're talking about head. Now, as a normal human being, you have a head which houses your nose, your mouth, your ears, your hair. You understand? Your mouth also houses your tongue, your teeth. You understand? So that is what is we are trying to say. The head element, it's a container which contains other headers file. You will get to know them as time goes on. Okay, I have them here straight up here. So what are those headers that you can find in HTML in the head elements? Some of we have base, we have link, we have style, we have script, and we have meta. Those are some of the header file you can see in the head element. And if you can check from here, from what we just called, we have head already here. Yeah, we don't have link, we don't have content, we don't have link yet, we don't have base yet, and we don't have style here. Don't worry, as time goes on you will get it. But we have title as well. Then we'll go to the title elements. Why is title being a call element here? This is the reason why. Title specifies the title of the page. Like every other element, every other website you open, website you open, you always find a title of that particular element. Now take a look at this. This is our example. Like I said, I've deleted the content of the previous video. So look at the title up here. I have week 2. If you look at this particular website, I have MIUI 13 stable release, whatever. Here I have crime Netherlands. That's the title of the page. So every of your elements, HTML document, must be given a title, because that is it will for a layman. If a layman should open, okay, I think I'm in the week 2 of this course. Okay, when you open last week video, okay, I'm in week 1. Okay, this is week 1 of this course. You don't need anybody to explain to you this is week 1. Merely opening the page, you already know you are in the week 2 of this particular program. Then we said the test for a good title is whether visitor can tell what they find on that page is just by reading the title. Yeah, take for example, when I'm looking for something on the internet through Google. Now take for example, when you want to search something on the web, you understand? Merely looking at the title can give you a hint. Okay, I think what I need is here. If you're looking for, let's say for example, you're looking for figure of speech or type of figure of speech, and you open a particular web page and you look at the title of that page, you said type of figure of speech or figure of speech, you already know, okay, if this page talks about figure of speech, let me check if they would probably talk about the type of figure of speech. You understand what I'm saying? So this is one of the importance of having or making your title very essential, or what makes it very essential. So then we have the link and the style sheets. Like I said, we don't have that here. Don't worry, we get to know that. You get to see them as time goes on. But let me just explain what this is all about. Like I said, the link and the style, we will use this particular element for CSS and JavaScript. You understand? But this is going to be a common element to every page you build. You understand? It's important that we quickly cover how to include them in our web pages. Adding a style sheet relies on link elements, that is the link element, and also uses the href attribute, which we've learned previously, to point to the resources on the web. Don't worry, you will get to understand every penny of this. In this case, instead of pointing to a new page or a website to visit, you can remember when in our last class or the previous one, when I was telling us about the href attribute, you can see, okay, I say this is Google. I'll click here to go to Google website. Then the href attribute, the value for the href is www.google.com. Instead of pointing to a particular page on the website, this link and style sheet element will point to a particular file on our local machine inside our project folder. That is what this point is trying to tell us. You can see, for example, you have the link rel, the link, which is the link attribute, the link element. Then we have an attribute called rel. The rel simply tells my compiler, okay, this link I want to embed in this particular document, it is called style sheet, like type of the link. The rel just serves as, let me say, type, and the href, where is the location of this document I want to, because they are document on their own. Now this is let's say, for example, now let me open a particular folder here. Can you see the link to this folder? Can you see the link? See users, Steve, OneDrive, desktop, Shinovate training week 2. If I want to access this in my code, or maybe there's a particular item I want to pick here, I can use this. Or in my CMD, I want to access a particular file there. This is the way I'm going to write it in my CMD, so that in order for me to locate this particular folder, that is what href does. Remember, the href takes us to a particular page on the web. That is why using the anchor element, the here element. But in here, it will point to a particular directory in our local machine. And in this example here, what it tells us is, okay, go to the CSS folder. Remember I said the href in the link element will point to a particular directory in our project folder. So I already have our project folder. Inside our project folder, it's telling us that there's a CSS folder in our document, in our project folder. Then inside that CSS folder, there's a document name called main.css. Now that is what I need you to extract for me and bring it into this HTML document. Likewise, if you want to add your script, this particular one is, I'm adding a CSS to my document. But how do I add a script? The same thing, just script source. The source serve the src, simply connote source. It does the same thing as the href. The source, that is, where is the destination, where is the location of the JavaScript file. Okay, inside my project folder, there's another folder called JS. Inside that JS folder, there's a file called main.js. Bring it up for me. I need it in this particular project. I will not give us any example here, but you get to see them during the course of this program. Then I go straight to my body element. The body element appears after the head element. As you can see, yes, I've shown us this severally. Let me collapse the head. You can see immediately after the head I have my body. So it appears after the head element. It contains a part of the web page that you actually see in the main browser window, which sometimes refers to as the body content. So whatever we have inside this body element is what the user is meant to be seen. What are some common content of the body elements? Some of the common content you can have. These are not all of them, but these are common ones you can have. I don't think I have table here. You can have table elements. You can see we have the sys level of the headers, of the headings. the H1 to H6, we have paragraph, we have we have line break. This pre-formatted, we'll use all of them in the course of this program. We have the break, we have the addresses. All this one fall under paragraph category. Then we have grouping elements. That is, maybe I want to group a particular segment. I don't know if when you are surfing the web, you might see a particular part of the web page that they just did something very unique, but that activity does not extend to the next three image or the next three elements. What they did there is they just use a grouping element to design that particular page. Let me see if I can see something like that on the web from the previous pages I already have opened on my browser. I don't know if these pages will be open without web. Okay, very good. Look at it here. Yeah, you can think this particular image, yeah, a layman can think, I know this corridor designer, I know this UI UX design, or a photoshopping icon. Yes, they can do, but trust me, you can do this as well in HTML using your Java, using your CSS. Yeah, this one you can repeat it, you can do the same thing. All you just need to do is get these icons, get this dog nose, get this cam, get this icon. You can get this maybe online, or you design it yourself. You can do it too with CSS, just that's going to take the time. Get this face, then you position them. Get this one, then you position everything. The same thing applicable here. So what they did here is, if I want to have something like this, I will use a grouping. You can see the background, this 1 gig is equal to 230 is different from the background for the first one. It's even from the background for this next one too, for the next image too. So what they did here, what you can use for something like this is called a grouping element, and such as the div, the headers, the age group, the nav, the section, the article, and so on. You have presentation element as well, like B for bold, high for italicized, superscript, subscript. And we have phrase elements like EM. We have strong. The EM simply connotes emphasize. What it does is just it italicize a particular word or element which you use it with. We use it for. Then we have the abbreviate, we have the definition, we have the block quotes, we have the queue, we have the site, we have the code. Then we have the KBD, we have the verb, we have the samp. Then we have some list, category too, such as the UL, that is the on order list. Then we have list item as well. We have the data, DLD, DLDT, and DD. We have some editing elements too, such as ins and del. So you will use some of these as time goes on. So that is all we have for call elements. Thank you.